Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing tonight? What's everybody? Mr. R, Laura, Jonathan. Looks like we got some regulars in the house. Sam. Very cool. Nice. Good to see you guys here bright and early. It's kind of nice to actually have some folks in the room already when I first get here. You know, it's always legit. What's going on with everybody? I'm happy to tell you that I'm properly rested today. Caught up on sleep last night, so the chances that I will be totally brain dead today are very low. Feeling quite peppy, actually. You know, aside from sleep, one other thing that helps, obviously, is taking a nice big fat dose of Action 2.0. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we did change the label so that you can take up to 6 capsules per day on that one. So, yeah, of course, it'll run out a little faster if you do that. But once in a while, when you need an extra boost, you certainly can do that with the Action 2.0. And another one that's not part of the CHOQ lineup that I do love, that I'd like to get at some point into some of our products, is actually licorice. I don't know if you guys know, but when it comes to adrenal tonics, energy boosters, licorice is amazingly potent. It's a really, really big deal. And I actually recently bought some licorice extract, and yeah, I've added that to my morning routine. Great way to wake up. So if you're doing some CHOQ and you're doing some cacao beans, add a little licorice to it. It'll really, really boost it up. So yeah, I'd love to find a good supplier to where we could do a nice liquid licorice, so you could just shoot that down in the morning. Help get you woken up. So Mr. R is curious about my smoothie recipe. Check this out. So Mr. R, can you guess why it's green? What do you think is in here that's making it green? Sorry, nose itching. What's your guess? I'll tell you the other ingredients other than the green ingredient. It's actually just a very, very simple smoothie. I like them simple sometimes. Frozen mango, hemp seeds, honey, and water. And then spinach is the green. Yes, you were right. Exactly. So frozen mango, hemp seeds, honey, water, and spinach. And of course, you could always throw some CHOQ cacao beans in there on top of that. And that would definitely kick it up a notch. At this point, though, I already have tons of energy, so probably don't need any more cacao today. I think I slept for about like 9 or 10 hours last night. Apparently, I really needed it. And yeah, I'll be frank. You know, I like many other people with very active minds, I kind of go in and out of periods where it's a little harder for me to fall asleep. And so, yeah, sometimes I'll just have a few days, 2 or 3 days, where I just really hard to fall asleep, you know, and then I'll have a night where I make sure to take all the right supplements and meditate for a long time before bed, you know. And I have found that obviously supplements help, and clearly I'm like the supplement guy, so clearly I would take a lot of supplements to help me sleep sometimes. But that's not always enough, you know, even with a really powerful concoction. And I'll tell you guys some of the sleep supplements that I use if you're interested. And I'm curious, do any of you guys and you guys also ever struggle with, falling asleep? But my secret weapon, really, even this doesn't always work, but on top of supplements, is to meditate. No screens, nothing, super, super dark in the apartment, you know, for the last, 3 or 4 hours that you're awake, ideally. And some combination of, the one screen that I would read from would be my Kindle. That would be okay, because a Kindle is not a regular screen. Yes, it is. It does have a tiny bit of light coming out of it, a little bit of a backlight, but it's e-ink, and e-ink does not have the same effects on your circadian rhythm, right, through the eyes signaling to the pineal gland. So, but yeah. If you're the kind of person who can do these longer meditations, just meditate yourself to sleep. It's something that sometimes I get lazy and I'm like, I don't feel like doing it. But if I can just force myself to sit down and meditate for 1 to 2 hours, at some point during that second hour, I will probably fall asleep, especially if I haven't done anything dumb, like, drink mate too late in the day or something like that. Obviously there's, other factors there, but yeah. And the nice thing about meditation is, let's say, okay, yeah, it doesn't always work. Nothing's 100% foolproof, but you're going to be mentally in a more restful space, even if you're lying there, not sleeping, because you meditated. So really, so to put it this way, like in situation A, you're not falling asleep, right? And you're just thinking about all the stuff that's stressing you out, about like all the stuff you have to do the next day, right? Whether or not this one situation is going to turn out the way you want it to, right? This bill that's late, whatever. And then in situation B, you are still not asleep, right? You're still lying there, but you're purposely meditating, you're controlling your breath, doing whatever kind of visualization, body scan, and that right there, night and day in terms of its effects on your physiology. So if you're going to be lying there not able to sleep, the ideal situation is, at the very least, try to get yourself into a meditative state. It'll most likely help you fall asleep. But even if it doesn't, it's still a much more restful, healing place for your body and your mind to be, basically. So, yeah. This is going to sound dumb, but how do the contents and supplements stay fresh for that long? They are in a capsule for a year sometimes. Oh, yeah, as one, a good question. Well, two things that enhance the degradation of supplements. The main two things are heat and, three things really: heat, oxygen, and moisture, right? So the nice thing about a capsule is, think about what's going on with the capsule, right? Obviously, it doesn't have that much effect on heat, right? But if it's in your home that's, air conditioned, then that's not a big deal, right? It's going to be in a normal temperature. The capsule is a great way of keeping air out. So it's going to reduce oxidation. And of course, even if it's a powder in a container, there's still going to be significantly less air, right? There's, only going to be so much, a fixed quantity in that container, but capsule's better. And then moisture, obviously, you're not getting, there's no moist air coming from the outside, but even once you, let's say, for example, open the bottle up, at that point, you'll get more air in. A lot of the time, though, you'll find those silica packets that help to absorb moisture. Of course, obviously CHOQ uses silica in, I'll show you. Got some CHOQ armor right here. But yeah, this guy right here, there's your silica packet, right? So, obviously everybody knows don't eat these, right? But yeah, so that helps with the moisture. So yeah, but let's say, as Juana, to answer your question, let's say you had powder and you had like let's say you had some ashwagandha extract, right? And what would happen if you opened the capsule up, and you opened a bunch of capsules up, you left them in a container with the lid off, and you left that outside in the heat? That powder would degrade much, much, much faster, right? Because then you would have the combination of all the wrong things. You'd have moisture, heat, and lots of oxygen. And again, remember, oxygen is a double-edged sword, because obviously living organisms, well, those who are aerobic in nature, we need oxygen because it's part of how we create cellular energy. It's an essential aspect of cellular energy production, based on the way that we work on a cellular level. But oxygen is also very, very nasty stuff. Oxygen is highly, highly reactive. And again, remember, when we talk about free radicals, what's another term for free radical? ROS, reactive oxygen species, right? Species meaning, species sometimes can be applied to non-living things, to molecules as well, but reactive oxygen species. So oxygen is very nasty stuff. It tends to degrade things. It tends to, rust in a sense, right? So when we talk about free radicals, people say it's almost like your cells rusting, So yeah, we, you want to, in order to preserve something, you want to keep oxygen away from it, ideally, Let's see here. All right. Somebody says samadhi meditation puts me out. Yeah. Taking the CHOQ capsules every day and or multiple capsules a day is not bad for you. Janny, yeah. Well, yeah, not at all. Again, everybody's different, so case by case basis. But CHOQ supplements are designed to work in tandem. So they're really excellent when you combine them together to get better effects. What we use in our supplements is, very, very non-toxic, very, very user-friendly. And so, no, not at all. Not a problem. Zach says, have you heard of Acarali Tomcat? No, I'm curious. Could you, Zach, could you tell me more about that? Let's look that up. Let's see. Akarali Tomcat. Acarali Tomcat. Oh, it's just a brand, I guess, huh? Not a specific kind. Okay, yeah. So it looks like it's some sort of Tomcat coffee or something. So yeah, it's interesting. I will tell you, if you're a fan of bitter, then Tomcat is great, But if you want to taste one of the most bitter things you've ever tasted in your entire life, I dare you, take the Tomcat 100 challenge. If you're totally crazy, I wouldn't recommend this for most people. If you're totally crazy, what you'd want to do is open one of these bad boys up, put the contents directly in your mouth. As I've said before, Tomcat is extremely, extremely bitter already, right? But this is 100x concentrated. So imagine 100 times more bitter. It is pretty crazy. But yeah, so I imagine Tomcat coffee is probably pretty intense. You might need some cream and some sugar for that. At least I would. I can't drink coffee at all, really, but because it makes me feel horrible. But if I did, I would not drink it black. And when I used to drink coffee a long time ago, I did not ever drink it black because it just tastes awful to me. But to each his own, All right, so let's see here. Janice, you're referring to taking capsules. Yeah, no, I mean, our capsules are just made of cellulose. Not a big deal at all. So no issue there. All right. Zach, I have no idea about that product. But what I will say is I would look and see with any product, I won't speak specifically about that product. Typically, it's bad policy to reference other specific products, but I don't know anything about it, so I won't speak about it for that reason as well. But yeah, long story short, just see if they're using an actual Tomcat extract or if it's just Tomcat raw powder. And if it is an extract, how potent is the extract? Our Tomcat is 100x potency. So that means that 100 milligrams of this is equivalent to 10,000 milligrams of the raw plant material. So that's 10 grams, right? 10,000 milligrams is 10 grams. That's quite a bit of plant material. I have never seen, much that's stronger than that. All right. Let's see. So somebody's mentioning Muhammad saying Shilajit helps with mineral absorption. Did I mention that? Yes. So Irish moss would be a good thing to pair it with. Absolutely. Or your zinc or your magnesium, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, Tomcat is amazing. Definitely. The fact that you can take just 100 milligrams of this stuff and actually feel it was pretty awesome. Because in the herbal world, it's rare to find something that with an herbal extract that's actually active at 100 milligrams. What's up, Daniel? How's it going? Howdy. So what else is new, guys? Did you Have you guys seen how they're going after Mercola? Man, it's too bad. I saw, this wasn't even actually that recent. This was back in August, but CNN ran this hit piece on Mercola where they went to his office and he wasn't there. And they were like, Mercola, how come you blah, 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 blah. You know, I won't get into the details for obvious reasons, but, you know, they were trying to confront Dr. Mercola and for spreading misinformation and, you know, about certain topics. Right. And they couldn't find him in his office. So they actually went to the beach and they just like, you know, they went to his house. They couldn't get in through his house, obviously, through the gate. And then they found him, and he was just like, literally, he was like he was about to get on a bicycle from the beach, and always wearing, he was like not wearing a shirt, he was just wearing a pair of shorts and some sandals. And they like CNN like accosted him right there, and they were like, Dr. Mercola, can you tell us about spreading misinformation and killing people or whatever, you know? And of course, he didn't say anything, but. And yeah, you know, Mercola, for a lot of us who've been in the game for a while, you know, he's like one of the old school Jedis in the in this whole supplements game, this whole natural living, natural health game. You know, he's awesome. Got to pay mad respect to Dr. Mercola, and you know, I hope that he's okay. I hope that nobody messes with him in any more nefarious ways other than just bad press. You know, but yeah. Mercola is great. It's pretty crazy. They had to take, you know, stuff off of his website. I think like he's doing this thing now where they'll only put an article up for like 2 days and they take it down, you know, and they had like thousands and thousands of articles over the years. And so, yeah, pretty nuts what's happened with Mercola. And you know, there's also the whole disinformation dozen thing. Pretty interesting stuff there. Let's see here. Jonathan says, all men must take daily in Tonkat Ali. Yeah. Well, if you want to get crunk, that's how you do it for sure. Spiritual Marcus says, next item I want is a Tonkat. Awesome. Yep. And Mr. R says, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. Yeah. Yeah. It's a crazy time to be alive, you know. One of the first things I talk about in our ashwagandha deep dive video that we released recently, where I'm talking to Dr. Anthony Thomas, nutritional expert, who works for the company who produces our standardized research-based organic max dose ashwagandha. You know, we were talking about the fact that it's exploded recently in popularity, ashwagandha. It's something like, you know, maybe 5-10 years ago, certain people knew about it in the supplements industry and in natural health. But now it feels like everybody knows about it. Like your uncle knows about it, your grandma knows about it. Like everybody wants ashwagandha. And it does certainly seem to me that word is getting around that it is really great for healthy cortisol levels and for stress management. And obviously the world has been pretty stressed out in the last year and a half, year and 3/4 for some reason. Yeah. But definitely let me, for those of y'all who've already heard me plug this a million times, please forgive me, but I would like to, because this video we put a lot of work into it. It's a really awesome hour-long video. I would like to plug that video really fast. Let's just find that if we can. Bam. It's called Ashwagandha Science Deep Dives with Dr. Dorsey. And definitely, if you get a chance, check it out. Give it a thumbs up, share with your friends. And, you know, a little public service announcement also. If you can, make sure to, anytime you see one of our videos, just always give it a like. You know, I know obviously everybody on YouTube says that, so I know it's probably a little bit annoying, but make sure you're subscribed. Hit the alert button if you want, you know, if you want to take it that level. If not, I understand, you know. But yeah, hit the like button on the videos, and also let other CHOQ fans know, if you know any online or whatever, that we're doing these every day, every weekday that is. And obviously, I know some of you guys are on the Telegram channel too. But yeah, hoping to continue to spread the word. I see we've got about 1,200 subscribers now, which is not too bad because, you know, we started the channel, you know, several months ago. So growing it little by little, but definitely hoping to continue to keep that momentum going. Yeah. And let's see what else is new here. See if Green Med Info, I've been just kind of going to them a lot lately. Green Med Info, what do they have to tell us today? Any interesting articles? Forgot to get my iPad, but we'll just use this second monitor over here real quick. Testosterone is the new Bitcoin. That's funny. Could you qualify that statement, Jonathan? Well, looking to try to see if anything I can find down here that I can talk about. Unfortunately, again, lots of stuff that is on a certain topic that is not to be mentioned. But yeah, while I'm doing this, you guys got any other questions for me? Anything pressing? Yeah, we don't say the V word here, so. I will say one V word though is Veritas. So I don't know if you guys are interested in them, but how many of you guys, tell me in the chat, how many of you guys know who Project Veritas is? I will speak indirectly, but not directly about what they're doing right now. Project Veritas is, as a lot of you probably know, doing some really interesting investigative reporting. And yeah, it's kind of like the stuff that they used to do, that the mainstream media used to do a long time ago when they still did real reporting, So yeah, really interesting stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything on here I can actually talk about though. Let's see. Oh, I think I might have mentioned this one before. Is your phone spying on you? Possibly, according to new research. And what's this thing? Have you guys heard about this thing called keyword warrant? Is that familiar to any of you guys? This is an interesting one. Government issuing keyword warrants to Google to determine what internet users are searching for. Yeah, how many of you guys have heard of that one? The U.S. government has reportedly been issuing secret keyword warrants to Google for those who look up certain phrases and names, triggering worry over privacy in addition to concern for innocent internet users who could unknowingly and erroneously become involved in major criminal investigations. Interesting stuff. Yeah. Another little public service announcement. I've mentioned this a bunch of times before, but in the past, I used to just always upgrade my iPhone. Every time there was a new iOS, I would be an early adopter. I'd be like, oh, I want the new one. More recently, I've realized that that's maybe not the wisest thing to do. And with iOS 15, I have heard that, again, forgive me, I've mentioned this before, but for those of y'all who haven't heard me say this, iOS 15, the new one that just dropped, has a bunch of major security issues in it. So might not be a great idea to be an early adopter of that one. So just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah. Also, here's another interesting one. Let's see, Children's Health Defense. They actually found a paper that showed that acetaminophen use among pregnant women was associated with increased issues of certain things in their unborn fetuses. I won't get into what those are, but if you want to check that out, you can always just type in Children's Health Defense into Google and then type in acetaminophen pregnancy, and you can read more about it. Again, I can't get too much into disease terminology type stuff. I don't want to go too deep down that for legal reasons, but let's just say acetaminophen which is what's in Tylenol, but just generic acetaminophen, not speaking about any specific product, but just the molecule itself, acetaminophen, is quite a bit more toxic than people realize. And when I was studying Chinese medicine, a lot of people don't know when you become an acupuncturist, you study a lot of Western medicine, right? So we had to learn anatomy and physiology, pathophysiology, pharmacology, a lot of stuff like that. And so there was a whole Western medicine department at my Chinese medicine school, my acupuncture school. And the head of that department was a man from India really brilliant older man. He was in his 70s. He had been a physician for almost 50 years, like 45 years, something like that. Been a doctor for a really, really long time, an MD in India. And he believed that acetaminophen should not be over the counter. So, when you compare it to some of the other over-the-counter pain meds like aspirin or ibuprofen, it is way, way nastier in certain senses. It actually will deplete antioxidants from the body that are essential for detoxification. It can be really nasty to the liver. He had seen acetaminophen in his tenure as a physician, right, for almost 50 years, do so many bad things that he said it should be prescription only. So that's always, been on my mind. Anytime I see another article come out on acetaminophen, I always flash back to my days in school from that one professor. So yeah, acetaminophen can be a little on the nasty side. So yeah, do your own research. Look into that. Might be interesting. But yeah, this whole keyword warning thing is fascinating. I haven't read all that much about it, but certainly does seem like it's just another potential invasion of privacy. Maybe not the best. Jonathan, oh yeah, so Jonathan says iPhones are scanning faces all the time. Here's a crazy story for you guys. My best friend, he has an iPhone. He doesn't use the Face ID feature at all. It creeps him out. I use it because I'm lazy and I don't want to know the passcode. Probably shouldn't. But anyway, but check this out. So he was sitting on his back porch and he's got one of those security systems that's got infrared cameras, outside the house. And he was using his phone. And so again, remember, he has Face ID completely turned off, right? So the face scanner should not be operating. And he was watching a live feed of himself through one of his security cameras. And he noticed all of a sudden out of nowhere that there was some weird flashing going on. He was like, oh my God. And he could actually see it projecting infrared lasers at his face. So he basically, and I was like, you need to show that to somebody. That's crazy. I wonder how many people have done that. But yeah, so if you have an infrared camera, see what happens if you turn Face ID off. And he said it was intermittent. It happened randomly a few times and then it just stopped happening. So it wasn't like it was constant, but it happened like a couple times and it just stopped. But a few times randomly, his phone did scan his face, even though he turned that off. And what else is strange is, why would it be doing it in the middle of using your phone as opposed to, right? Because Face ID should theoretically be scanning your face while you're using it for something like unlocking your phone or one of the other apps that, does weird facial expressions with little memoji things or whatever. But why would it scan your face randomly? Unfortunately, I don't know if that footage was recorded or what, but yeah, he should definitely, hopefully go back and try to do that again. So yeah, kind of crazy there. But yeah, on that note, I think it is time for us to give some prizes away. So everybody give me a number between 1 and 100 in the chat, one entry only. And we're going to do our prizes back to back because I actually do have to jet here in a second. So yeah. And if it's your first time, basically prize number 1 is any CHOQ product. And what we do is I generate a random number and whoever's closest to that number gets the prize. One entry only, any number between 1 and 100. So here we go. What do we got? The number is, well, got a few more coming in still. Okay, everybody got it? The number is 29. So let's see here. Who is closest to 29? Spiritual Marcus is at 34. That's 5 away. Jenny's at 23. That's 6 away. So it looks like Spiritual Marcus is our winner. Yeah. Spiritual Marcus, congratulations. Spiritual Marcus equals winner. So, Spiritual Marcus, email CHOQ@CHOQ.com and tell them that you won prize number 1. And again, one of any CHOQ product, can be any of our supplements, can be a bag of cacao beans or t-shirt, whatever you like. That is prize number 1. So congratulations. And on today's special edition of Ask the CHOQTOR, like I said, we're going to be doing both prizes back to back. So let's do it one more time. Let's spin the wheel. Do it all over again. One more time. Give me a number. And prize number 2 is, as most of y'all know, because a lot of you guys are regulars, prize number 2 is a CHOQ t-shirt, organic cotton t-shirt, as well as a bag of heirloom organic cacao beans. All right, let's get those numbers in. That's right, we're doing it back to back. Okay, see, we got a couple people who haven't done it yet, so I'm about to cut it off here, though. All right, here we go. Number is 43. Mohammed, are you the winner with 44? I believe you are. Yes, Mohammed. Mohammed, haven't you won before? Did you win like yesterday or recently? It's pretty awesome. Yeah. So prize number 2 goes to Mohammed. Well done. Well done. Congratulations. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, go pick out your shirt. And personally, I like the brown ones, but you know, the gold are cool too. I will say also that these shirts, the reason that they're kind of pricey, and we know that they're not the cheapest t-shirts out there, but if you actually feel the material, these are legit shirts. These are like luxury shirts. They're like really, really nice organic cotton. They're like really soft, and they don't feel like the kind, like I've bought t-shirts even like recently that after 8 months, they just fall apart and they just get more and more paper thin, but they're like super nice. They're actually really comfortable. So. Okay, Muhammad says, in the spirit of giving, please give to someone else. So Muhammad, oh, well, how nice of you. That's excellent. All right, so Muhammad, would you like to give your prize to someone? Do you want to pick a person, or should we go with, you said, so who else is closest to that number? Okay, well, how very generous of you. Well, the number was 43. So let's see, what do we got? Who's second closest to 43? Anybody want to help me figure that out really fast here? Who's anybody in the 30s? Nobody's in the 30s. Who's in the 40s? Nobody? 50s? 53, that's 10 away. Is that Jonathan? Nice. Let's see here. So the number is 43. Jonathan Rojas is 10 away at 53. And I don't see anybody in the 40s or 30s, which means that Jonathan then would be second closest. So Jonathan, are you still with us? If so, let us know in the chat. If not, we'll have to go to the next person. But yeah, Jonathan, if you're still around. Well, Jonathan, looks like you won prize number 2 then. Something weird in there. Something weird got in my smoothie, y'all. Anyway, but yeah, Jonathan, you won prize number 2. So email CHOQTOR.com and to redeem your shirt and cacao beans. So great job, Jonathan. Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I figured I'd just knock those out because I am going to actually run here in just a second. But yeah, guys, I also got to say, been trying to do different times to see, which are best in terms of turnout. I haven't found any specific patterns in here so far. So we did do that survey a while back, and people did say that they thought that later in the day was better, but I'm not entirely sure that's true or not yet. Looking for patterns. So, I might still continue to play around with different time slots here. So, but yeah, Thanks, Mohammed. That was very, very generous of you. So that's awesome. Yeah. And Mohammed, do you like your shirt? They're pretty legit, right? Yeah, I like them. Well, yeah, I think so. Janny says earlier in the day, huh? Yeah, we might do one a little earlier tomorrow. I think we will. Plus, in general, Fridays, might be nice for me to finish up a little earlier on Friday. So I think we will do ours a little earlier tomorrow, maybe around 3 or 4 or something. We'll see. So yeah, awesome. All right. Well, thanks for showing up, everybody. Thanks to all the regulars, to Laura, of course, and Muhammad and Mr. R, and all the other regulars. Hunter is one who we see in here all the time. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here so consistently. It's always nice to see familiar faces. And yeah, y'all make sure to, if you can, tell your friends. Be like, hey, you can win free prizes. You should come hang out. And yeah, think of some interesting questions for me next time. If you want, definitely feel free to throw some curveballs at me. Whatever you can think of. And yeah, awesome. All right. Well, you guys take it easy, and I will see you next time. Until then, stay human.